State Commissioner for Information and Communication, Honorable Paul Onbamu, in a statement in Benin City has said that the All Progressives Congress, APC, has been receiving prominent members of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in appreciation of the transformation of Edo State by Governor Monday Okpebholo. The commissioner noted that as the 2027 elections approach, the APC led by Senator Monday Okpebholo is taking the state to greater heights with the overwhelming support from members of the opposition political parties and other well-meaning people in the state. It is expected that every well-meaning Edo son and daughter should be concerned with the political, socio-economic development of the state at this crucial stage of the evolution of the state that has arisen from slumber. He therefore urged everyone to go on a door-to-door sensitization of their people across the 3 senatorial districts to ensure that the state benefits from the cordial relationship with the federal government built by Governor Okpebholo. This is WADONOR, Cultural Voice of Nigeria, reporting live from Abuja, Nigeria. The Nigeria Union of Journalists (FCT) Council marked Easter with a concert at its Abuja Secretariat, blending celebration with a clarion call for national unity and progress. The event, themed Renewal and Hope, harnessing the transformative power of unity and progress, drew journalists, dignitaries, and supporters under the historic leadership of Comrade Grace, the first female chairman in the council's over 40-year history. Keynote speaker was Lekan Abehid, House of Representatives member for Yagba Federal Constituency and chairman of the House Committee on Customs and Excise. He praised the NUJFCT Council for its role as the Fourth Estate and urged journalists to champion President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda to reposition Nigeria as a global investment hub. The cantata, a blend of music and reflection, celebrated Easter's message of resurrection as a metaphor for Nigeria's renewal. This is WADONOR, Cultural Voice of Nigeria, reporting from Abuja, Nigeria. Civil Empowerment and Rule of Law Support Initiative, SRLC, on Tuesday 15 April, 2025 met NITDA for support for SRLC project on cybersecurity. In attendance from SRLC were Bobby Temiku, Deputy Executive Director, DED, and Margaret Agani, Project Manager. In attendance from NITDA was Mr. Ayodele and his team. Agani Esquire told NITDA that SRLC has a project for senior secondary schools in Abuja for 2,000 students and asked for NITDA assistance. Mr. Ayodele informed SRLC that management granted approval for SRLC request for resource persons for SRLC project. He further requested a training schedule from SRLC for the cyber law and ethics seminars before making a decision on funding for SRLC. This is WADONOR, Cultural Voice of Nigeria, reporting from Abuja, Nigeria. In another strategic meeting with the chairman of the 18 local government areas of Edo State, on April 9, 2025, the Edo State chapter of the PDP took the following decisions. 1. Members were formally informed of the party's decision to challenge the verdict of the election tribunal. 2. There was an announcement of the inauguration of the South-South PDP Caretaker Zonal Committee, led by Honorable Emma Agidi. The ceremony took place at the PDP National Secretariat and officiated by the national chairman of the party. 3. On the matter of the Edo State Party Secretariat, the committee informed attendees that after several months of evasion, the leadership of the All Progressives Congress, APC, has now been served legal notice through substituted means via newspaper publication. This has been a WADONOR, Cultural Voice of Nigeria broadcast from Abuja, Nigeria. Sunday Independent report of 13th April say that stakeholders have slammed the EFCC under President Tinubu. Barrister Ojho, managing partner, Platinum and Taylor Hill LP, said that concerns remain about selective prosecution, where opposition figures are targeted, while government allies face little scrutiny. For genuine reform, the agency must avoid media trials, strengthen interagency collaborations, and ensure accountability for all, Ojho said. Han Charles Sianike, national president of Eastern Union, said that the EFCC under Tinubu is just a ghost name. It does not represent anything meaningful, rather it is a bunch of charlatans the government uses to oppress and suppress reasonable voices. Barrister Anike said. WADONOR, Cultural Voice of Nigeria reports from Abuja, Nigeria. Publicity Secretary, Edo PDP Caretaker Committee said that he has read with concern and disappointment the reckless statement by Edo Governor where the governor declared to have kick-started the campaign for President of Nigeria's re-election in 2027. According to the Publicity Secretary of the Edo PDP Caretaker Committee, the governor's comments and actions are in direct contravention of Section 94(1) of the Electoral Act 2022, which explicitly states that the period of campaigning in public by every political party shall commence 150 days before polling day and end 24 hours prior to that day. He said that it is troubling and deeply embarrassing that the Edo governor, who should be a custodian of the rule of law, is kicking off campaigns nearly 2 years ahead of the legally allowed period. This is not only illegal but also sets a dangerous precedent for abuse of power and disrespect for our constitution and constitutional democracy, the Publicity Secretary said. WADONOR, Cultural Voice of Nigeria reports live from Abuja, Nigeria. Honorable Commissioner for Information and Communication Edo State, Paul Onbamu has called on Edo people to put politics aside and join hands with the Edo governor, Senator Monday Okpebholo, to develop the state. Speaking to newsmen on the outcome of the Edo Election Petition Tribunal in Benin City, Honorable Onbamu described the governor as a God-sent who will deliver the dividends of democracy to Edo people. While urging everyone to support the governor, Honorable Onbamu noted that the governor needs everyone for him to succeed in his developmental plans for Edo. It is now time for Edo people to put politics aside and join hands together with the elected governor, as affirmed by the tribunal, to develop the state. He joined politics because of his passion to alleviate the plight of the people, and when he became the senator representing the Edo Central Senatorial District, his footprints of achievements are everywhere. He provided basic infrastructure such as water, roads and schools, Honorable Onbamu said. WADONOR, Cultural Voice of Nigeria was not paid to relay this broadcast. Dr. Onyema, Air Peace Boss, has condemned the trafficking of Nigerian underage girls to Ivory Coast. Onyema promised that his airline would ensure the return of the girls to Nigeria from Ivory Coast free of charge. Martin Zotzi, social media influencer, had revealed on Thursday that no fewer than 1,200 underage Nigerian girls, who were trafficked to Ivory Coast, were languishing in that country. In the statement, Dr. Onyema called for collective efforts to discourage trafficking, saying that it is inhumane and ungodly. He also said that on their return, the airline would send the girls to hospital for free medical examination. He said, "We should discourage trafficking of any kind. It is inhumane and callous. It is absolutely ungodly and a good example of man's inhumanity to man." He enjoined the Nigerian embassy in Côte d'Ivoire to assemble them and reach out to Air Peace and charged the federal government to take charge of their education after their return. WADONOR, Cultural Voice of Nigeria reports live from Abuja, Nigeria. Reports gleaned from daily independent newspapers indicate that the Rivers State sole administrator, retired Vice Admiral Ibaket Taibas, has come under criticism following his recent appointments of administrators across the 23 local government areas, and constitution of members of 3 commissions in the state. On Wednesday, through the secretary to the state government, Professor Avivia Warika, announced the reconstitution of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, the State Civil Service Commission and Local Government Service Commission, which he had earlier suspended. The development has sparked reactions from stakeholders across the state, with many condemning the appointments, describing it as unconstitutional and undemocratic. Stakeholders accuse the sole administrator of causing more troubles in the state instead of delivering his mandate of restoring peace. They say the retired vice admiral has no right to appoint administrators across the 23 LGAs, as well as chairmen and members of agencies without the input of the House of Assembly. This is WADONOR, Cultural Voice of Nigeria, reporting live from Abuja, Nigeria. U.S. District Court has ordered law enforcement agencies to make information about Bulletin Nubu public. Beryl Howell, the judge, made the order as response to a motion by Aaron Greenspan, an American seeking reconsideration of an earlier ruling. Howell said protecting the information from the public is neither logical nor plausible. Greenspan had accused the law enforcement agencies of violating the Freedom of Information Act by failing to release within the statutory time documents relating to purported federal investigations into Bulletin Nubu. At the presidential election petition, the issue of Tinubu's forfeiture of the funds came up when his opponents challenged Tinubu's eligibility to contest Nigeria's presidency. But in a unanimous decision, the courts affirmed Tinubu's election. On Tuesday, Judge Howell ruled partly in favor of Greenspan. The judge noted that the responses asserted by the FBI and the DEA are improper and must be lifted. WADONOR, Cultural Voice of Nigeria report was earlier published by Daily Trust of Sunday 13th of April, 2025. April 8, 2025. Communique of State Caretaker Committee meeting held April 7, 2025. The Edo State Chapter of People's Democratic Party, PDP, Caretaker Committee led by Dr. Tony Azigbemi met on April 7, 2025. In a statement signed by the Secretary of the Edo PDP Caretaker Committee, the following decisions were reached thus: 1. That the judgment of the Election Petition Tribunal was a travesty of justice and therefore endorsed the decision of its candidate to appeal the obnoxious judgment. 2. That the PDP members and the people of Edo State to remain resolute and not allow the verdict of the Election Tribunal to dampen their confidence in the institution of the judiciary and democracy in Nigeria. WADONOR, Cultural Voice of Nigeria, was not paid to relay this broadcast. A report from the Daily Independent newspaper of 14th of April, 2025 said that SEROP has called on Senate President Akpabio and Speaker Tajuddin Abbas to withdraw a bill seeking to amend the Nigeria Data Protection Act 2023. According to SEROP, the proposed amendment aims to regulate the activities of bloggers in Nigeria. SEROP urged Mr. Akpabio and Mr. Abbas to ensure that any amendment to the Nigeria Data Protection Act protects blogger and journalist rights. SEROP also urged the National Assembly to end the imposition of restrictions on the online rights of Nigerians. The bill has passed its first and second reading in the Senate. This is WADONOR, Cultural Voice of Nigeria, reporting live from Abuja, Nigeria. Edo PDP Caretaker Committee has made a statement about the response to the misstep by Governor Okpebholo, where he declared to have kick-started the campaign for President Tinubu's re-election in 2027. The secretary said that as a party, they had raised the issue of Okpebholo's unconstitutional thrust into political campaigns, more than 2 years ahead of the legally allowed period. We had pointed out that his actions contravene Section 94(1) of the Electoral Act 2022, which explicitly states that the period of campaigning in public by every political party shall commence 150 days before polling day and end 24 hours prior to that day, the secretary said. According to the Edo PDP, instead of Governor Okpebholo to accept that he was wrong, he had been issuing threats to the civil public. He has specifically vowed to ruthlessly deal with the PDP and any opposition voices who dare to question their clear incompetence and persistent violation of the Constitution, the Edo PDP said. This is WADONOR, Cultural Voice of Nigeria, reporting from Abuja, Nigeria. Abuja, Nigeria. In an opinion column published with the Sunday Independent newspaper, 13th of April, 2025, editor-in-chief and publisher of WADONOR, Cultural Voice of Nigeria, Mr. Bobby Temaku has said that for the federal government of Nigeria to continue with the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC program for university graduates, they must increase the monthly allowance from 70,000 naira to at least 2 million. According to Mr. Temaku, whilst the graduates get less than $600 in 1 year as allowance, another group of Nigerians at the National Assembly get over $600,000 annually. Things are pretty hard in Nigeria today, and if Nigeria cannot pay these graduates serving their fatherland a monthly allowance of 2 million naira monthly at the minimum, Nigeria better scrap the NYSC or make it optional, Mr. Temaku said in his column titled Development Matters on page 8 of Sunday Independent newspaper.